You're good, Mr. Mayor.
Thanks. Good evening. I'd like to welcome everyone to the Tuesday, April 7th, 2026 council meeting at 6:30 p.m. And we'll start with disclosure of pecuniary interest. Then we'll move on to staff and committee reports. I'll start with.
None from me.
Thank you. Councillor Pelopinko.
We actually did a trip to Good Roads this week. And I would like to say thank you to everybody for allowing me to go. I had a blast. We made some really great connections, got to talk to suppliers. We were spent some time with Bonfield and Powassan guys, girls. We saw some really great speakers. I got to ask some really great questions and I met Claire Campbell from Australia. She's created the Vision Zero strategy, which is trying to get road accidents down to zero in Australia. She was presenting with Mark Miller from Temiskaming Shores, who's lost a child on the highway. They're looking at a lot of physical solutions on the highway, medians and 2 lanes down to single lanes and passing lanes. They really are trying to push electronic speed markers, I think with automatic tickets. But we later met up and discussed pushing more political and maybe justice solutions that need to be paired with some of these physical solutions. Yeah, we heard people like Merritt Stiles. She highlighted how she says that dropping development charges is not helping our constituents, and she didn't support the latest budget. We had a delegation about the Hummel Bridge, which didn't really go our way, which wasn't very fun. Chief Benedict and Greg Rickford were Indigenous representatives there, had some great speeches. They talked about the $115 billion Build Community Strong Fund, and they were highlighting how important it is that we partnership with the Indigenous communities, which will help us gain access to that funding. We saw a speech on AI vehicles talking about loss of critical thinking, how all AI vehicles must be babysat. So that was pretty interesting. I went to a speech about Phragmites, which we've been approached by a delegation talking about the importance of IDing Phragmites, especially in a waterfront community like ours, with tourism and staying ahead of legacy growth and whatnot. We also heard people like Mayor Chow, the Minister of the MTO, Sicaria, Jason Kenney. But really it was a lot of communicating with other communities and talking road safety, which was highlighted with the Humboldt Bronco accident anniversary yesterday. Yeah, and yeah, it was fun. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Scott.
I also attended Good Roads. We attended a lot of the things, and the last one was public safety, and their videos, everything they showed was commercial vehicles in accidents. And at the end of the thing, and everybody was said and done, I went up and I said, maybe we're addressing the wrong issues, trying to fix the roads. Maybe we should be trying to fix the commercial industry. And it has to be a wholesale change. It can't be just a one little poke. It has to be encouraged. If the roads aren't safe, park and get paid. Stuff like that. Stuff that's not going to cost the taxpayers millions of dollars. I asked the question, if you go 1-2-1 road, how many extra plows do you need? And how much extra is it going to cost to maintain? And it kind of got people promoting this starting to think this could be a very, very expensive venture, and that's the gist of what we did. We sat in on the minister meeting, and it was, from my point, it was a little disappointing the way we were treated. So we'll just leave it at that.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Councillor Scott. Did Mark Wilson speak at?
A little bit.
That's good.
A little bit.
He's pushed for this for years, this 2-in-1.
Yeah, but part of the solution that he was showing was like 3-foot high corrugated metal barriers in the middle of the highway, which definitely deters or stops vehicles from crossing into oncoming, but that could make accidents even worse by bouncing off of that. And then you're talking maintenance.
Yeah, I know we went to Norway for quite a while and studied that.
He brought
That's
up
where it
Norway.
started.
Yeah,
So,
and there's actually somebody from one of the Norway or Sweden. And one of their slides that they had up there, he said, that's gotta go. You can't call those lanes passing lanes. The minute you call passing
Yeah.
lanes, you're increasing the speed and that becomes more dangerous than what you got now. So he made a big point of that.
Yeah. Councillor Kirk.
Yes, well, I have a museum board report. Oh, well, you were there. Anyway, we met on April 1st and we came up sort of with a plan for the coming year. So Thursday, July the 2nd, we will have butter making. And then again on July 18th, we'll have ice cream making and then rope crafts on August the 13th. And so we put pricing together for the workshops. And so there'd be five, and rope coasters is 5, rope baskets is 10. Nothing to report on the artifact status. Progress continues on the remembrance and waterway journey. And then on our strat plan, got some feedback on the streams and ladders from the Christmas run. A few very positive comments on that from people out there. Putting together some posters. I think these are the ones we're gonna go with, pretty sure. We have time to change them, but they're pretty good. We kind of agree that we all like them, so we're gonna go with that. And that's it. The clearing of the building for the building inspector. Any time frame for that?
For an do we need an engineering report to open up? Or we?
Yes, I have to call the engineer and get the final, and then we won't need one every spring.
Okay, that was the question that I was gonna bring here.
Yeah, I know, I stopped into the building inspector today, he reminded me to give the engineer a call, so I'll do that tomorrow. And then I'll get his, I had emailed him a couple months ago, but he's a busy man, so
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll put a little more pressure on him.
yeah.
All
The
right.
weather's getting better to go down. Like
Right.
Also, they would like to discuss with Police Services Board to come up for Heritage Day to do a tent. So I think I'm gonna take that to my meeting on the 13th of this month. So I think we'll probably be doing it. So, and Northeast Fire Education Conference, very interesting. We did the, what do you call it, municipal track? Mhm. So that was very interesting. Basically, they talked a lot about looking after your police chiefs. Anyway, it was kind of, it was very interesting from my point of view, because I've been on the fire services before, so I guess. And then community assessment review. Now they were talking about community assessment review. Our assessment is done, am I correct? But 50% of them aren't done in the province, so there were some concern that. And then, of course, best practices and risk assessment, training programs for residents and forest fire navigation. I imagine Will's going to be dealing with that.
Yes, for public education.
Public education for forest fires. So, and new legislative requirements coming down, limitations on staffing, public safety again. The fire chief will present a risk assessment to council so they can determine what is in the ENR bylaw. Like that?
Yeah, it was approved.
Okay,
Yeah, we have one in place and we review it every few years.
okay, so,
Term council.
yes, right. Anyway, and then they talked about, using, canoe for, canoe source well for cooperative purchasing. We already do that, don't we? Is it?
We did once, but we have to amend our procurement policy, I think.
Okay. And then, of course, they talked about the increase in the cost of fire apparatus. That was a slap in the mouth. It was, that one hurt. Anyway, and then, they talked about, of course, the cancer claims in the fire service and the, is that a program that they put in place? The monies that they put in place for it?
Cancer prevention grant?
Yeah, that one. I know you talked about it before, that we already got that. And then heat alarms in garages. That was interesting. Heat alarms, as opposed to not smoke alarms, heat alarms. Because you don't get, smoke alarm goes off in your garage, chances are you're not gonna hear it from the house. But a heat alarm in your garage is when something lights up in your garage, attached garage, of course. Imagine you could do it with a detached garage too, you could still wire it into your house stuff. But because the smoke alarm, smoke's not really the issue there. You want something, once the temperature starts to get hot, you want something to notify you so you can attend it. So that was interesting. And it's not a mandatory thing yet, but I can see where it's gonna go with the
Building code.
yeah.
Yeah.
With the O2 detectors and the smoke detectors, so it's gonna go that way. So that was an interesting. Anyway, that's all I have.
Thank you, Councillor Turkey. John Paul, can you give us a Frechette update, please?
Yeah, they have the latest update I got from the PSPC was on April the 2nd, so everything's always a little bit behind, but on that date, the average water level on Lake Nipissing was measured at 194.81 meters as of midnight on April 1st. So 194.81, the meeting before that, we're at 194.67, so it's a difference of 0.14 meter, 5.5 inches. It's gone up.
Yeah.
The total precipitation for the month of March was well above normal. Just looking through here, the strategy so far is with the warmer weather and the rainfall in the forecast. This, of course, was back on the 2nd. We are anticipating a sharp increase in inflows over the coming days. As a result, the level on Lake Nipissing is likely to rise rapidly with the increased rate of snowmelt. The anticipated flows on the French River to rise rapidly in response to the increased snowmelt and increases to dam discharge over the next several days. Given the latest forecast, it's possible that levels in the French River may approach or exceed the previous flood limits as soon as early next week. Their current strategy is to maximize the discharge out of Lake Nipissing while monitoring forecasted flows on the French River. And they aim to keep the levels on the river from increasing too rapidly, possibly delaying increases to the dam discharge should they be forecasted to approach the previous flood limits and then continue to increase discharge as local inflows decline. The strategy is subject to change, of course, depending on conditions and weather forecasts, especially at the highly volatile time of year. But right now, the flow conditions at Wolseley Bay are 259 cubic meters a second, Dry Pines at 279, and the 24-hour inflows around 272. The next scheduled update will be on Tuesday, April 7th, but I haven't got it yet. So
Yeah.
Tomorrow I'll probably have it for the next meeting. But,
Yeah.
that's all they have to report there.
Okay, thank you very much. I have a quick report from East Home, and a lot of it is what I had last time, strategic planning, still finalizing 5-year objectives. I was gonna ask Chris, is our insurance, Northbridge will not cover coverage on any administrator. Are we covered when we go to meetings?
We have volunteer coverage for
yeah,
ours, so
yeah.
I will confirm though with
Yeah.
Intel and I'll make sure.
Okay, yeah, I just thought I should ask. Zippy Meals demonstration for meal delivery coordination expected to be in use April 1st. Building maintenance is ongoing. They're still troubleshooting the HVAC. The upgrades on the elevators are still being reviewed, waiting for quotes. The fire panel they've communicated with the lowest bidder, still negotiating a contract in terms. Nurse call, new vendor quote provided for the telephone system, replacement phones being replaced April 1st. I hope. So they say. And the TV, telephone, and internet systems, they're all on hold again, delayed. So policies and updates and compliance, we had one critical incident so far this year. And contracts and agreements, we have a contract with Canadian Career College Placement Agreement. Allison Jones Consulting, motion for wheelchair repairs and service. A new medical director is under review, and that's all I have. So, thank you. And I need a mover and a seconder. Mr. Kirky. And Councillor Scott. That the minutes of the regular council meeting held March 17th, 2026 be adopted as published. All in favor? I need a mover and a seconder. Councillor Foote. Councillor Chilton. That we pass bylaw number 2026-13 being a bylaw to stop up, close and sell part of the road allowance between concession 12 and 13 designated as part 1 on plan 42R 22-858 in the Township of Nipissing, District of Parry Sound. Read this first, second, and third time and passed on the 7th day of April 2026. John Paul, do you want to speak?
I can chat a little bit about it.
Yeah.
Everybody's familiar with Stonecutters Road and Hart Road. I'll open the map here. Like say, there's the road allowance between concessions 12 and 13. This is where the triangle would be, where that intersection is down over here.
Yeah.
I think the Cranberry Trail's over here, because Hart Road's coming south. And Stonecutters Road's more or less east-west. So when that road was forced down on this corner, it created a little lot here, a triangle lot. And they're trying to purchase this road allowance behind it to get some more land to build a house one day. And I suspect maybe even one day they might ask for an add-on sentence, but I don't know about that, but.
Do they own that triangle lot now?
This one, yes.
Okay,
And that's the road allowance behind it. Like, we chatted staff and we don't ever see a use for it. For them, it's a huge deal.
Oh, yeah.
Because their lot a little bit larger. That's not so much, but
so that's 93 point some meters long and 66 feet wide, whatever?
yes, around there.
Oh, yeah, okay, that, yeah,
So it'll be a sizable chunk, like it'll add about 1,912 square meters to the lot. And then they'll have a decent building lot.
Yeah, because they have nothing.
Not too much right now. It'd be tight, like you could probably get 15 meters back, but it'd be,
Yeah,
yeah, it'd be pretty tight. But that's the section. So it's not really like a road closing where it's a road we travel. The travel road comes down here. And then the triangle's down over here somewhere on the road allowance.
was there ever anything on the road allowance?
No, not back there.
No?
That was just the road allowance. They probably cut around it because the big rock was there.
Yeah, yeah, okay.
There's it's down there with calendar, but we checked the calendar and circulated it to them as well. They didn't have any concerns.
All in favor? We'll move on. So I need a mover and a seconder. Scott. Councillor Kirky. Whereas the replacement of the battery operated extrication equipment for the fire department was identified in the 2026 capital budget. And whereas RFP 2026/01/fire was circulated for 3 bids, or for bids of 3 submissions being received. Now therefore, based on the results of the submissions, council accepts the RFP submitted by Code 4 at a price of $79,975 before applicable taxes. All in favor? Oh, go ahead.
What happens with our old stuff?
It'll go on gov deals in a few months. We're actually gonna be utilizing it for a training exercise we have coming up for a couple weeks.
Okay, so it goes on gov deals. Do we set the price on that or is it auctioned off?
It's an auction site, it's like a public auction site.
Oh, okay. I was just kidding.
But we can also set a minimum bid, correct?
We can set a minimum,
Yeah.
but
Okay.
we've determined previously it's better just let it go open.
Works better.
Seems to.
Yeah. Yeah.
Moves faster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
And you trust going battery? Are you happy with going with battery?
Yes, yeah, that's the way of the future. All our neighbors are using the same ones. So for service and downtime, it'll be a lot better.
Setting up the motor on a cold day can sometimes be a challenge. The hydraulic fluid and, yeah, been there.
Okay, all in favor? Carried. I need a mover and a seconder. Joe Pinko. Councillor Foot. Whereas the township issued tender RFT -NIP-PW 3-2026 for a half-ton crew cab pickup truck for the adopted capital forecast in 2026 municipal budget. Now therefore, the council of the Township of Nipissing accepts the tender submitted by Mohawk Ford for the delivery of a 2026 Ford F-150 at a price of $71,811.50, including applicable taxes, and an additional cost of $6,972.10, including applicable taxes for the extended warranty. All in favor?
I have a question. Do we need the extended warranty? Have we used it?
Just a question.
No, I mean, we have used it on the 2019. 2024, we haven't used it yet. But,
Yeah, because we trade them in fairly quickly, right?
well,
Like we
they're
upgrade fairly quickly.
an 8 to 10 year turnaround on the trucks.
Okay.
But I mean, with all the electronics now, it doesn't take long to beat up $6,000. I mean, and again, totally counts as decision.
I have 2023 and I think it was $4,800 was parts, not counting labor to fix my truck, so. It does,
2023,
2023, so
Wow.
it's out there.
and you're on gravel roads all the
Yeah,
time,
all the
like,
time, yeah.
which isn't, it's harder on.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Awesome.
all in favor? I need a mover and a seconder. Councilor Turkey. And Councilor Scott. Whereas the Township of Nipissing has received a funding grant through the Health and Safety Water Spring Grant to assist with replacement of the Bear Creek culvert. And whereas a bridge replacement was identified as the most efficient asset replacement option, and a tender for the modular bridge concrete abutments was circulated as NIP/PW/07/2026. Now therefore, council has received the results and the recommendations from Antoine C. Boucher, P. Engineering, on the submission received, and therefore council awards NIP/PW/07/2026 to Northern Mat and Bridge, inclusive of option number 3, as provided. Total cost $634,491.07, including applicable taxes. All in favor? Carried.
Do you think the 711,000 will cover the construction cost? Yeah.
And I need a mover and a seconder. So Foot. Councilor Chowdenko. Be it resolved, excuse me, that this council does approve in principle the application of Arthur Anderson to purchase part of the Shore Road allowance located in front of concession 14, part lot 12, PCL 5724 N/S, Township of Nipissing. That this resolution is subject to the following conditions. The council shall select an independent search firm specializing in fishery issues and environmental issues to complete an independent investigation and report to determine the geographic limits where development could occur and to ensure compliance with the provincial policy statement. That the applicant will be responsible for the payment of all the municipality administrative legal accounts, and environmental impact study cost in connection with the processing of this application. That in accordance with the municipality's policy, notice and a copy of the draft plan will be mailed to the adjacent owners. All in favor? A mover and a seconder. Councilor Perky. Counselor Scott. Whereas Pension has been contracted to perform landfill monitoring services for the Township of Nipissing since 2022. Now therefore, we authorize the municipal administrator, clerk treasurer to sign the authorization to proceed, extending the agreement until 2028, and that the project cost will be $39,470 in 2026, $39,705 in 2027, $39,945 in 2028, plus applicable taxes. All in favor?
Everybody, staff is all absolutely behind them. Vincent?
Yes,
Okay,
Oh, yeah.
perfect.
they're providing everything.
That's, as long as you guys are happy, that's what matters the most.
Way better than the last.
Yeah.
We have a better experience.
And I need a mover and a seconder. Councillor Chalapico. And Councillor Foot. Whereas the electric swipe card program for the Township of Nipissing landfill sites has required additional negotiations. Now therefore, council hereby rescinds resolution R 2026/09 passed January 6, 2026, providing an effective date for implementation as of April 1st, 2026. And that we hereby authorize the implementation of the electronic card use system for the township landfill sites with an effective date of September 30th, 2026. And that the new cards will be mailed out to all property owners with the final tax bills being mailed out June 2026. All in favor? Carried.
Nope.
Need a mover and a seconder. Councillor Turkey. Councillor Scott. Whereas the Township of Nipissing Fire Department has been successful in a grant application for the Ontario Fire Protection Grant to enhance cancer prevention and firefighter health and safety. Now therefore, we authorize the mayor and the municipal administrator to sign the Ontario Fire Prevention Grant Transfer Payment Agreement. All in favor? Carried. And I need to move her in a second. So Foot. So Chalapico. Whereas the 2026 municipal election nominations will be open on May 1st, 2026. Now therefore, the Township of Nipissing adopts the following 2026 municipal procedures, April 7th, 2026 edition. Municipal election 2026 signs advertising policy amended April 7th, 2026. Use of municipal resources during an election campaign, rules and procedures, April 7th, 2026 edition. All in favor?
May I just mention something?
Yep.
So we've partnered with the city of North Bay, the municipality council, and the municipality of Boston to bring in Nigel Belchamber for a session called So You Want to Be on Council. It kind of just gives you an overview from a very seasoned individual on what to expect if you want to run for council. So it's open. We've been advertising it as far as we can. And that will be held in the city of North Bay Council Chambers on April 23rd at 6 p.m. And it's open to anybody.
Yeah. Mover and a seconder. Counselor Scott. Counselor Kirky. Whereas the Township of Nipissing has received a request on behalf of the Commander Community Center and the Burden Area Historical Corporation, Commander Museum, for the application of sand to the parking areas during the spring season. Now therefore, the Council of the Township of Nipissing authorizes the delivery of application of sand at each location for this one-time use. Discussion.
They're not talking a whole lot. They're just talking what, pickup truck, sander, or
I think they were mentioning a pickup sander, but typically, if we do anything, we give them a little sand for their box.
We've never physically sanded.
Oh, okay. Well, but we have given them sand before?
One, like just
barrel.
once in a little bit in a barrel. Like we don't do it regularly.
Okay, yeah, because understanding that down at that end, we did run into a little bit of a kerfuffle on the private property.
Right.
Yes.
So,
Well, this was requested on March 25th, like, we've kind of missed the boat, haven't we?
we haven't.
Well,
It's
as
just the way.
council, the
yeah.
timing and
It's just the way
whatnot, yeah.
council fell, so yes, that's why it's coming to you.
And there's still potential for ice in the parking lot anyway.
I guess, I mean, I don't really look in there when we go by.
We've never sanded it with our equipment ever, not when I was here, not before me neither, so.
But they're just looking for a little bit of sand.
We could, give them if they had a barrel, we could put sand in it.
I think that's more than reasonable. You can buy those containers from Home Depot for $100.
Well, are they compensating us for it, or
I get it.
is this a neighborly gesture?
Are
Is,
we setting a precedent we don't want to set? That's my, because then
Well, that-
everybody comes to us and wants it, and I think it's a very slippery
Yeah.
road to go
I
down.
do too.
They,
We want to help people, but that's, at least sets us up for a world of hurt. Because how do you say no to the next person?
well,
Or the next
absolutely,
person, or the next person, or the next
Well,
person?
or when Commander needs more.
well, I was just thinking of just down the road from there, the stuff we got into, when we find out at the end of the day that they bought that from the highway, so the highway sold that. And we were plowing it. So,
I think it's a slippery slope.
Yeah, I do too.
And does Feller not? They do some work at the museum already.
I don't know.
They do.
We don't have any.
They plow in there or?
They don't plow in there, but they sand and they clean up to the sidewalk at the museum. So in the spring, they do a cleanup of that.
Yeah, they sweep the.
oh yeah,
islands
but
and
that's
islands.
Fowler's side, anything on the road allowance side, not on the inside of that. So,
Mhm. Oh, absolutely.
yeah,
And they probably won't want to get into that liability either.
No,
no,
I mean, they can reach out to, there's many people out there that will sand or drop sand for them at a cost. Unfortunately, or fortunately, you know what I mean?
yeah,
Your thoughts?
I agree, we shouldn't be going for private,
no,
residents or businesses or.
and I get it, they're sort of public because everything they do is for the township, but they're still private.
that's right.
Right, and like Councilor Foot said, you do it for one, where do you stop?
And we were talking about this last week is
Yeah.
you go to help out with one and the next door neighbor calls and says, why are you not doing mine?
That's right.
It's just favoritism. So
Yeah.
yeah,
It is. Okay, so. All in favor? Opposed? Yeah.
Next is correspondence.
Everybody's read their correspondence. So the Ministry of Natural Resources inspection of 2026-2027 annual work schedule for the Nipissing Forest. Office of the Mayor of Ottawa, the Honorable Mike Kersner, Solicitor General, proposed new regulations under the Restriction Public Consumption of Illegal Substance Act. Township of Carling, 2025 food and housing affordability data. Town of Lincoln requests the province of Ontario to extend the deadline for notice of intention of designated listed heritage properties. Avalon Maitland District School Board in the municipality of Bluewater, the Honorable Doug Ford requests for provincial consultation and transparency regarding potential changes to English Public School Board governance.
so shocking.
Northeastern Manitoulin and the Islands requests that the Ministry of the Environment reconsider decision. So everybody read the
Surface treatment.
The Golden Sunshine Nonprofit Housing Corporation Board of Directors meeting minutes. Ryan, Ontario tax freeze costing jobs, raising prices. Inquiry regarding resolution R 2026/09 landfill electric card system implementation. So everybody read that? So I just wrote this down. I'll say it quick. Our 2025 audit presented to us after our staff doing a great job preparing by Oscar Poloni, is always the first one done every year. And the compliments that we receive on behalf of Chris, all our staff, everyone, is a real good feeling for everybody in this township. Council, taxpayers. Our FIR report submitted is normally the first one in Ontario, which is hard to believe, but that's last year we probably are this year again. You get your FIR in there, you receive your funding, and that's $700,000 that our township receives. Health and Safety Water Stream grant received was $1 million for our township because of the hard work of Chris and all staff. Everybody's involved in that. Our landfill life has been extended in each the last 3 years, which is a great feat. It saves everybody lots of money, and that's thanks to Dan and his staff and Chris and her staff. We received one complaint regarding our electronic land cards being delayed, only one, but no one acknowledged the great achievements from all of our staff and members. So we're going to acknowledge that tonight. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So the concerns that were raised in that letter, at the time, when we realized that there was a miscommunication between a couple of the departments within the company that we were going to use the swipe cards for, it wasn't certain that a fee wasn't going to be attached that we hadn't anticipated. So we wanted to make sure we did our due diligence. So our efforts were on continuation of the service for landfill. We hadn't gone public about the electronic cards yet. We hadn't put out the public information. We were able to obtain the paper cards, circulate them, so there was no break in service. So that was our priority for the time. And then we weren't sure how things were going to come down till now. So this is our first meeting since April 1st. And therefore we made the change.
Yeah.
But we anticipate putting those cards out with the final tax bill. So everybody's anticipating and waiting for their bill, so they'll open it. If we send them out now, a lot of people won't open their mail. So we want to have the best outcome from the program that we can.
Yeah. So I need a mover and a seconder. Flip. That we received the correspondence reported as presented, all in favor. Carried. Mover and a seconder. Mr. Kirky.
This is particularly painful one.
It's rather large, yes.
Councillor Scott. Everybody's looked at it, and went over it well? Okay. That the statement of accounts dated March 13th, 14th, 25th, 26th, 28th, and 31st, 2026, totaling $577,400.75 be approved. All in favor? Carried.
School's too expensive, policing's too expensive.
Thank you.
I'm gonna land here.
Well, you look like the school board, like everything is just paying,
There's
and that
fees
can't
on
be
there.
helped, that's. how-
Oh,
I
know.
Yeah.
He said,
Yeah.
yeah, I know.
School boards.
Yeah. And it's really. So I need a mover and a seconder. Councillor Foote. Councillor Choate. That this part of our meeting be closed to the public as authorized by section 239 2B. Personal matters about an identifiable individual, including municipal and local board employees. Purpose of this closed session, council to review updated employment agreements for the municipal administrative clerk, administrator clerk, treasurer, operations superintendent, and fire chief. MLEOCMC. Council to review information regarding a staffing position. All in favor?
I woke myself up at 2:30 in the morning and went, I forgot to send the empties email. I went, it can wait till 6:30.
Yeah, and that was supposed to go. so
You
I
good?
didn't get it.
So Counselor Kirk's not here.
No, because that went to my council.
Yeah.
So I only saw that this afternoon. I didn't even realize you asked me to be at the Easter thing at 11. So I'm like, oh, that's why everybody looked at me funny.
No, it's all fine.
It was fun.
I really enjoyed Easter. I like it
I can't
better.
wait to see what he comes back with.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I had a lot of really good feedback and they liked it better.
We're good?
But inside,
Very important.